Here's an uncomfortable truth. Reconciliation begins with you, even if you didn't start the conflict. There's a moment in every broken relationship when something inside you knows things aren't right. But everything in you wants to wait for the other person to go first. And if you've been holding out for an apology, what Jesus teaches may completely change how you see this. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel fair. And Jesus doesn't deny any of that. But he doesn't speak into this moment to push you down. He speaks into it to lift you up. He shows you a path that doesn't trap you in the conflict, but frees you from it. And as someone who walks with believers through real-life reconciliation every day, I've seen Jesus' teaching bring freedom into situations that have felt impossible. Today, I want to walk you through this same freedom, not to burden you, but to open a path you may not have realized was there. When Jesus talks about reconciliation, he isn't placing an impossible assignment on your shoulders. He's inviting you into a way of living that restores peace where your heart feels unsettled. You may still feel the weight of real internal objections. If I go first, they're going to think that I'm admitting guilt. If I bring this up, it might explode. And if I move toward them, I could get hurt again. Now, Jesus doesn't dismiss any of these fears. He meets you in them and shows you a way forward. His teaching doesn't shame you. It frees you. It steadies your heart and guides your next step. You don't need all the answers. You don't need to know how the other person's going to respond. You just need to take the next faithful move. And Jesus shows you how. There are two moments that Jesus addresses directly. The first, when someone has something against you. And the second, when someone has sinned against you. And in both situations, Jesus says, go. So let's look at each one. Jesus describes a moment we've all felt, a sudden awareness, a look, a word, a memory, something unresolved between you and someone else. Maybe it wasn't intentional, but now you're aware. And Jesus says that awareness matters so much that he tells you to pause everything, even worship. For his original audience, bringing a gift to the altar meant preparation, sacrifice, and devotion. Yet Jesus says that if you remember someone has something against you, reconciliation comes first. Not because worship doesn't matter, but because worship that bypasses broken relationships is incomplete. Notice Jesus' wording. He doesn't say, if you have something against someone. He says, your brother has something against you. Meaning you may have contributed to the hurt, even unintentionally. And once you begin to be aware, Jesus calls you to go. Not to defend yourself or justify your motives, but to say, our relationship matters, and I want to make things right. And here's your hope. God never commands what he refuses to empower. If he calls you to take the step, he gives you the grace to take it. This isn't a detour from worship. It's worship expressed through humility and love. Jesus also speaks to the moment that you have been hurt. Someone's words cut you. Someone's actions wounded you. Someone's sin fractured a relationship you didn't ask for. Jesus dignifies that pain. He doesn't tell you to minimize it. He says, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. This isn't confrontation. It's restoration. It's not about anger or accusation. It's about a private, grace-filled conversation aimed at winning the relationship, not the argument. The world says, protect yourself, make them feel it, or pull away. Jesus says, move toward the one who hurt you, not to punish, but to invite healing. Yeah, it feels risky. You don't know how they'll respond, but Jesus doesn't base your responsibility on their reaction. He bases it on his love for both of you. If they listen, you've gained your brother. You've restored a relationship. That is the heart of God. By the way, my name is Dwight Shetler, and I serve as president of Ambassadors of Reconciliation. We help people reconcile according to the Bible. And if you would like to explore these passages further, there's a short blog linked in the description below. But here's the foundation of everything Jesus asks of us: grace. Grace is why we can move forward and toward someone you've hurt, instead of hiding in shame. Grace is why you can approach someone who hurt you without being overwhelmed by fear. Grace softens the heart, quiets excuses, and steadies your voice. God meets you in the fragile middle, where wounds still ache and misunderstandings still linger. You don't pursue reconciliation because you feel strong. You pursue it because God gives strength as you go. Put Matthew 5 and Matthew 18 side by side. If you caused the hurt, Jesus says, go. If you were hurt, Jesus says, go. Reconciliation isn't about who started it. It's about reflecting the heart of the one who reconciled us to himself. Humility says, even if I didn't start this, I can take a step. Courage says, I trust God with the outcome. Grace holds everything together. Remember this: in Jesus' kingdom, reconciliation isn't about who started it. It's about who belongs to him. As you begin living out Jesus' call to pursue reconciliation, something shifts. You start noticing the quiet hurts in others, the unresolved tension they carry, the places they feel stuck. That awareness is not accidental. It's the Spirit's work in you. Reconciliation isn't just something God does for you. It's something he wants to do through you. Galatians 6:1 says, if anyone is caught in any transgression, you who are spiritual should restore him in a spirit of gentleness. This isn't a call to fix people. It's an invitation to walk gently with them, the way Christ has walked gently with you. And if you've wondered how you can help someone tangled in conflict, how to support without controlling, how to guide without taking over, that's exactly what we'll explore next. This next video will walk you through how to help others pursue reconciliation in the gentle, Spirit-led way Paul describes. I'd love to have you join me there.